Dark Knight Returns: The Crusade is finally out after a few months of delayed lateness. Written by Frank Miller, the Dark Knight Returns original writer and artist, and accompanied by Brian Azzarello, who's been accompanying him with Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. The artwork is John Romita Jr., which is beautiful. The artwork is really, really, really solid. Also, I think what makes it so solid is he's accompanied by inks and colors by Peter Steigerwald, and it's fantastic. This is actually probably some of my favorite John Romita Jr. work in a long, long time. But let's talk about the greatness of this book. So if you know me well, or if you've been watching the page for a while or whatever, I probably mentioned that I love Frank Miller. He's probably the best thing to ever happen to the comics medium. He's the equivalent to me of what Beatles did to music. I worship everything Frank Miller, especially his Batman stuff. I reread that constantly, like every few months. It kind of just inspires me and makes me realize why I love comics so much. And so, Dark Knight Returns is a prequel, or excuse me, Dark Knight Returns: The Crusade is a prequel to Dark Knight Returns. The fact that it's called The Last Crusade, yeah, The Last Crusade, it's an interesting title. Once you read the book, maybe you'll get why I say that. It's very kind of like, the cover of this and the title is very, I'm not going to say it's misleading, but it's very, after you read it, you'll think about why it's called that. And when you look at the cover and when you read the title, The Last Crusade, it's not called that, and the cover's not what it is because of what you think it is. I know that makes no sense, but maybe it will after you read it, or maybe I'm just crazy and don't know what I'm talking about on this YouTube channel. But so essentially it is The Last Crusade, and it's, as the book was described when it was first solicited, it's the death of Robin that makes Batman finally want to retire. Now, the thing with this is it's a one-shot. It's a one and done from beginning to end, and you still don't truly see Batman retire in it, but that's not a bad thing, because what it does have is solid action, great Frank Miller dialogue, just like the previous books, and it shows you Jason Todd in the Dark Knight Returns universe, and how crazy and badass he is, and how Batman, which is a nice twist, because Batman in the regular continuity, he was just Robin to him. And this, for the Dark Knight Returns Batman's a lot more extreme, and Batman in Dark Knight Returns is all about thinking endgame in this book, The Crusade, the Dark Knight Returns Batman. And he wants Jason to not just become a better, greater Robin than he can be, but he wants him to assume the mantle, become Batman eventually, because unlike the regular continuity, by the time Jason's Robin, Batman's very much aged. He's, of course, not as older as he in the original Dark Knight Returns. He's probably like about, well, if you do the math, maybe a little bit more than a decade younger than what he is in DKR. But you can obviously see him age in this. There's implications of what his age does to his fighting and being Batman, and what it is to be Batman while he's aging. And seeing that's really awesome. And it's also great what they do with Joker in this. It really reminds you of how evil and sadistic Joker can be as a character, and what he is to Frank Miller's Batman. The ending to this is very, to me, I felt it was very left field, out of nowhere, and I think maybe that's one of the things I love about it so much, this book. Like all Frank Miller works to me, that's right, all of them, well, especially the Batman ones, this book's a 10 out of 10. I read this book over lunch today, and I'm still thinking about the book, like the way it ends, how it ties into Dark Knight Returns and everything. I think this book's probably going to be one of the best-selling books this week with all the Rebirth titles, and it might even sell better than any issue of Dark Knight 3: The Master Race, just because it is an actual prequel to the first book. Some of the characters in the book are Poison Ivy and Killer Croc and Catwoman, and you also, like, what's really cool is you have a lot of inner dialogue of Batman as he's, like, doing the fights, and it's him coming to terms with him being, of being of age, of where he's close to being, he should be retiring and passing the mantle. And also just shows you how dangerous it can be when someone like Jason Todd is Robin fighting crime with Batman. But on top of it all, again, it really ties back to how evil the Joker can be and how smart he can be. And this book really, it kind of, if you read this and read DKR, the original one, the things between Batman and Joker make so much more sense. It's insane. I still can't believe this book actually came out. I never thought we'd ever get a prequel to Dark Knight Returns, but here it is, and I loved it. I look forward to thinking what all the Arsenal customers think of it, and I look forward to putting it in people's hands tomorrow. Thanks. Alright, if you like what you watched, and I don't know why you wouldn't like it, click here to subscribe and make a good life choice. And if you want to watch more immediately, click right here to the right of me. And yeah, you should definitely subscribe. It'd make me really happy. You'd be supporting a great comic shop, and you'd be doing a great life decision. And hopefully these reviews make you want to purchase books, whether at Arsenal or another local comic shop in your area. Don't buy online, that makes you a bad person.